Welcome.
I am Joshua with Coffee Cats and King.
And I'm Paige with Paige's Open Book.
Most of you know one or the other, or maybe both. If you're lucky.
The true ones know both.
Yeah. We are sharing this intro today because we are both doing the same thing.
We were going to do a 24-hour reading challenge. The timing isn't really going to work out, so we thought a good compromise would be to use a random number generator to tell us how many hours we're going to read each day of this weekend. So today's Saturday. We're going to do Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because it's Memorial Day weekend. So numbers, what are we doing, 1 through 12?
Yes, 1
for
through
the
12.
number of hours we could read. Oh my god. Oh my god. 10? Okay, well, it is currently already almost 1 o'clock. Okay.
So 10 hours today.
Yep, so that means we'll read from 1 to 11, 1 p.m. to 11 p.m.
I am an old man. You think I'm going to be up at 11 o'clock?
We're going to end up reading more than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe on Monday we'll change it to like 8 instead of 12.
No, we're committed. If anything, we should have changed it 1 to 8 today since it's so late in the day already.
Should we respin?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Just kidding.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Hey, peanut gallery.
Like, it's already almost 1 o'clock. We didn't really plan this very well. Okay.
So we just start this clip over?
1 through 8. No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right.
3. Much better.
That's a lot more doable.
Oh, what do you think, buddy?
Aww.
What do you think, Uber?
His head looks so big.
Oh, all right.
Okay, 3 hours is much
3 hours.
more doable for today.
Yep, 3 hours today. We do still have some stuff to get done today, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
Tomorrow and Monday we'll do 12.
Yes,
and
do
we'll
1 to
start
12.
early in the morning.
Yep.
It'll be fine.
That's right. Okay, so 3 hours today.
So 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it doesn't have to be straight.
Well, still.
We can sprinkle it in, but.
Yep.
All right.
So if you're joining Paige on her channel, then you will be watching her read probably most likely romance.
Yes, a little bit. And maybe a memoir if I listen to an audiobook. I don't know. You'll see.
Okay. I will probably be focused on mostly horror. I might try and knock out a bunch of my YA and teen section and that sort of thing. But I don't know, I'm probably going to sprinkle some random stuff in there too. So we'll see.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Okay, so in terms of my TBR for this challenge video, I'm currently in the middle of like 5 books. So my physical book that I'm in the middle of right now is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And then I'm in the middle of 2 audiobooks. One of them is a memoir from Miss Ina Garten. It's called Be Ready When the Luck Happens. I've been really loving watching reruns of Barefoot Contessa because I've been wanting to like try new recipes and just be more like, I'm entering my like granny homemaker hobby era. So I've been wanting to bake and cook more and host more. So her show is goals for that. So I decided to also pick up her memoir on Audible because she narrates it. So I've been really enjoying that. I'm also in the middle of the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. I've already read the first 2 plus like the novella, prequel novella that's kind of about the parents. And so I think the next book would be Front Runner. I think that's book number 3. So I have that on audio as well. And then on my Kindle, I'm reading 2 books. I started the book club pick for May with Katie, which is Death Valley by Karina Halley. But then I also started Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford because it just came out and I saw everyone really excited about it and I had FOMO. So we've got lots of options for this challenge. Hopefully I can finish all 5, maybe depending on how many hours we get tomorrow, but 3 hours is a good start. Let's see what I'm feeling like. Okay, 1 hour in to the challenge. I was already on page, I think 170 when I started. So now I'm on page 270. So I read about 100 pages in the first hour, which is pretty typical for my reading speed. And there are about 500 pages in this book. So I'm hoping I can finish this in today's 3 hours. It might take me a little bit over, but that's okay. I definitely see myself finishing this book today. So I am definitely liking it so far. And the reason why I picked this up is because if you've been around my recent videos, I did a recent reread of the Hunger Games series. I've been rewatching the movies, and this definitely gives Hunger Games vibes with like more of a fantasy kind of twist. So in this one, the female main character, her name is Paden, and she is powerless. She's considered an ordinary. And in this particular world, there was this plague that happened years ago, and in that plague, it was believed that the ordinaries were the reason why the elites, the people who have the powers, were getting sick and dying off. So they basically all got ostracized and shunned, executed, whatever, so that the elites and the people with powers could survive after the plague. So Paden is an ordinary, but she's kind of like hiding in plain sight. She pretends to be a psychic that she is not detected, because if you get found out as an ordinary, you basically get executed. This is kind of similar to Hunger Games though, and the fact that they are, after the plague, every 5 years they have the trials, and they pick people from different areas of the kingdom to compete in these trials to see like who the clear winner is. So that's kind of where the similarity to Hunger Games comes in, even though the people have powers, which is obviously different from just a regular dystopian society. So I like it so far. I feel like it's kind of pinned as like an enemies to lovers kind of thing, because even on the front it says the hunted and the hunter destined for each other. So the male main character, he's actually the king's son, and he's going to be the future enforcer of the kingdom. So it's literally his job to enforce the laws of ordinaries not being allowed. And his power is actually where he can use other people's powers. So at first he's confused because when he's around Paden, he doesn't detect her power, but she kind of plays it off, you know, because she's a psychic and it involves the mind. She can kind of like trick his mind into not picking up on her power. I don't know. So I'm finally in the part of the book now where they're actually in the trials trying to survive. So both of them are in it, and I feel like it's definitely starting to pick up. I think the only thing I'm missing that I wish was in here, which, I mean, I'm kind of spoiled after reading The Hunger Games and watching the movies, because when you read The Hunger Games, obviously it's very much like this, where you only get, like, the point of view of what it's like in the trials. You don't really see what it's like when people are watching it. And I can't really, like, picture how everyone would react to how the trials are going so far. So, I don't want to give any spoilers. Well, I guess I could just tell you to skip ahead if you don't want spoilers. In the trials, Paden and the male main character, Kai, they're kind of like teaming up, and they're going to be partners in the trials. Pretty early on, like, even though yes, they have banter, and yes, she does like threaten to hurt him and stuff like that, it's all very playful and like flirty from the beginning. So I think that's the main difference between a regular fantasy enemies to lovers to this. It's like from the very beginning of them meeting, they're almost like intrigued by each other, and it's like they don't really hate each other. They more so just like come from different worlds, you know what I mean? They're supposed to hate each other, but they don't. So it's almost like they're mad that they don't hate each other. It's more so that kind of vibe instead of like a true enemies to lovers, I think. So it's a little bit different. So seeing how they are, like knowing that this is being televised to the king, to everybody else, like how is everyone reacting to them teaming up is what I'm wondering. So I don't know, but I'm definitely liking it. The characters are really intriguing, and I think it's cool to like read about all the different powers that these people have. And I still don't really understand why they have the trials, to be fully honest, because it's different from the Hunger Games in that not everyone has to die. There will be one winner depending on like who wins in the trials. And like they might kill some of their opponents, but they don't have to kill each other in order to win. I don't know, I think that's the only part that's like confusing to me, is not really understanding why they're having the trials. And also like, I don't really understand the importance of it. And I wish we were getting more of like how everyone else views Paden and Kai, because I think that's the part that's kind of missing here. I'm liking it so far. I also really like Kai's brother, who is going to be the actual king. He's the older brother, the oldest son of the king. And I do like the kind of dichotomy between Kai and his brother Kit, because Kai is the enforcer, the killer. He's been, you know, trained to fight and to kill and not have any remorse, versus Kit, who's trained to be the king. He's more so like political, diplomatic, the nice one, you know what I mean? The more like rational thinker. So I really like reading about their dichotomy, so I kind of hope Kit is more of a character in the other books, because he's not competing in the trials. So right now you're not really getting anything about Kit anymore, and I really like his character too. So I'm very intrigued, and I'm looking forward to hopefully finishing this book today. Fingers crossed. Okay, I almost timed that perfectly. The 3 hours are up, and I finished Powerless. The last bit was so action-packed, and literally after I filmed the last clip, the 2 things I said I wanted more of happened immediately after. I said I wanted more like behind the scenes of the trials and how people were reacting to it. So the cool thing about this and how it's different from the Hunger Games is the trials are broken up into 3 different phases, and in between each phase they kind of have like a little recap of the trials where they get to watch the highlight reel of just that one part of it with the audience there, and to kind of get feedback from people. So I found that really interesting. And there's basically like a dance or a ball that also takes place in between each trial, so that was like a cool way to break it up. You do get more about the brother's character. His name's Kit, and oh my god, I can't even get into what happens in the last part. I don't want to spoil anything for you. You need to read this, especially if you are a Hunger Games fan, or if you're looking for a different type of romantasy, because I feel like this is a good combo of like a dystopian society, but also like a fantasy with, of course, a good romance in it too. I'm obsessed. I'm giving it 5 stars, and I already have the rest of the series coming. So, yeah, all in all, a successful first day of this challenge, I will say. So hopefully we can be just as fortunate tomorrow and the day after that. But I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, we're gonna go ahead and spin the wheel to see how long we're gonna read tomorrow, because I know Josh will be awake before me. So he'll probably want to get a head start.
I could potentially miss out on several hours of good reading time
Yes.
otherwise.
So we were able to accomplish our 3-hour challenge. So now let's see. Tomorrow we're going to set it for 12 hours, because we are going to be able to start, you know, right when we wake up.
1 to 12 hours.
All right, here we go. Three.
What? That's lame.
I want to spin again.
That's lame. What we should do is, since we got a 9 originally for...
We got a
10. Yeah, it was a 10.
Okay, well, since we got a 10 originally, we should do a 10 tomorrow.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because, yeah, we did 3 today. Okay.
But technically, we rolled a 10 the first time. Okay. So,
yeah.
And then we got a 3, so it's like we're
I feel
reversing it. Yeah.
All right.
So 10 tomorrow.
10 hours tomorrow.
10 hours of reading tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Feels like my birthday.
Hello, I am 1 hour in to the 10-hour timer. I've been listening to the Ina Garten audiobook because I had a couple things to do. What did I do? Oh, I had to edit my video. I edited and uploaded my bookshelf organization video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it above. What else did I do? I did some gardening outside. I had to water some plants and repot a plant. Made some food. Yeah, so that's first hour done. I'm really enjoying the audiobook. It's just, I feel like it's perfect for this challenge too, because whenever I feel like I need a break or need to go do something, I could just have that on in the background. It doesn't really take a lot of brain power to focus on. It's perfect. But now that I have done most of my to-do list of the day. I'm gonna sit down and relax with my Kindle, and we're gonna start with Rewind It Back by Liz Tom, I forget to say Liz Tom 40, or is it Liz Tom Ford? I don't know. This is the newest book that just came out in her, I don't remember the name of the series. You know what I'm talking about. It's the sports romance series with Mile High, The Right Move, Caught Up, and Play Along. This is the last book. This is Rio's book. He has been a friend of all the other characters, so you've seen him in all the other books, and we finally get his love story, which is especially rewarding because pretty much half of his character arc is the fact that he like really wants to find love because he's such like a loving person, and no one deserves their happy ending more than Rio, truly. This is especially rewarding too for me because it's a second chance romance. It's someone from his past. They know each other since they were like 13 or before that, probably like 11, something like that, and they had some kind of falling out. I still don't know what happened. I'm only, let's see, how far am I into this? It says I'm 29% in. I have about 4 hours left according to the Kindle. So the angst is already so good. The tension is already really good. You could just really feel the history between them, and just like the push and pull of knowing that they're mad at each other, but they also can't forget all their good memories together. So now that they're, you know, in the same city again, they just want to go back to how they were before, but they can't because there's something that happened. We still don't know. But I have theories. I have theories, but I'll give you an update a little bit later on. But I'm gonna chill and just read on my Kindle for a little bit. Okay, I'm 4 hours in. I just finished Rewind It Back. Oh my god, this was literally perfect. Like, if you want to know why second chance is the superior romance trope, you need to read this book. This just did it perfectly. Like, it has everything that I love in a second chance romance. Like I was saying earlier, all of their interactions, you can just feel the angst and the tension, and like slowly uncovering what happened in the past, the dual timeline between the past and the present. It was great. It was amazing. Definitely a 5-star. Honestly, it might even be a 6-star. The characters were great, and I also loved seeing how their relationship developed through music as well. Music and like the nostalgia of like making mixtapes, you know, like that was a very prevalent part of the storyline, and I just love it. I love it. I was eating it up. Kind of sad that it's over now. I don't know what I'm gonna read for the next 6 hours. I'm probably going to switch to an audiobook just because I have been sitting for a long time and I feel like I need to get up and move around. So maybe go walk on the treadmill and listen to an audiobook, or get into something else. I don't know, but I'll update you guys once I know more. Hi guys, it is basically time for bed. It's after 9 o'clock and I still have 3 hours and 49 minutes on my timer, so I'm gonna have to carry it over into tomorrow, which is not ideal, but it's okay. We had some family stuff to do, so the day kind of got away from us. But I made progress in both of my audiobooks. For the Ina Garden one, I think I have about 4 hours left. That one is really good to put on when I'm doing other things, so that came in handy. And then I did also, I think I'm basically halfway into The Front Runner by Elsie Silver as well. It says I only have 2 hours left in that, so I could definitely finish that tomorrow. And I probably won't finish the Ina Garden audiobook because I do need to finish Death Valley by Karina Halley tomorrow, because that is our book club pick for Thursday. So I definitely need to make sure I fit that in. So that'll be my goal for tomorrow, to finish Front Runner, which I can also read that on my Kindle and listen to the audio, so that's gonna make it go by faster. And then I'll finish Death Valley for book club. So that's the plan. Let's meet up with Josh so we can spin the wheel to see how many hours we have to tack on for tomorrow. Wish us luck.
Alright, so day 2, rough.
It was rough. We're gonna have to carry over. So
How much time do you have left?
I have 3 hours and 49 minutes left on mine.
Lucky dog. I have 4 hours and 45 minutes left.
You wake up earlier than me. Why didn't you get started early?
Because I was working on other things.
Okay, that's fine.
1 to 5.
1 through 5.
See what happens.
One.
Okay, so that's fine. That still leaves me with almost 6 hours and you
Yeah.
with almost 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
fairly
doable.
reasonable. That's fairly reasonable.
Because it is a school night. You know,
Yeah.
we
Well,
have
we
work
have-
the next day.
And again, we have stuff to get done.
Yeah.
So it was maybe a little too ambitious, I guess. But
It's gonna be fine.
it's fine. Okay, let's get some sleep and knock out a lot of reading tomorrow.
Good night.
Night.
Okay, so I finished Frontrunner by Elsie Silver. I actually ended up reading this mostly on my Kindle instead of listening to the audiobook because there were so many things I wanted to highlight. I think this is going to be a 6-star book, you guys. This one really surprised me. The other books in the series have been good, but I feel like they weren't hitting as hard as the Chestnut Springs series did for me by this author. But this one, why is this feeling like the best romance I've read all year? Call me crazy. Call me crazy. It really took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it. This one's kind of like a villain redemption arc story. So the male main character in this one is kind of seen as like the bad guy in the first 2 books of this series. And the female main character is the veterinarian for all of the horses and the ranches in the racing industry in that town, basically. And even though she's seen how the rest of the town has treated this bad guy, she never really saw him as a bad guy. She doesn't have any personal beef with him. It's more so just the people that she's close with have had some, you know, tips with this guy. And there's just something about Elsie Silver doing a villain redemption story. Like, for example, when she did Winter's book in the Chestnut Springs series, I believe that book was Reckless. Yeah, she is one of the very few authors that can take a character you're supposed to hate and make you fall in love with them so that they're now your favorite character. Like Stefan is just a sweet baby angel that I want to protect, and he's supposed to be like the villain. Like I don't know how that happened but Elsie Silver did that. And I really feel for Mira. She is someone who has always had her guard up when it comes to love because she prioritizes, you know, her career, her success. She's very like practical. Yeah, I don't know. Their relationship is really something special. If you haven't read anything by Elsie Silver by now, I think you should start with this series. Don't just go straight into this book though. Because like I said, part of the charm is the fact that you're kind of like seeing this villainous character get his version of a happy ending. So I feel like in order to get the full scope of that, you have to read from book 1, in my opinion. I was giggling, kicking my feet, crying, like I was going through all the emotions with this book. I feel like it's my favorite romance of the year so far, which I did not think I was gonna say. I think this is more of a 6-star read to me than Rewind It Back was, which is weird because normally Second Chance is my thing. Childhood Friends to Lovers is my thing. This didn't have any of that. But for some reason this one hit me harder. I don't know. It's really good. It's really good. Totally worth the hype. Amazing. I do have 2.5 hours left on the timer. So my goal is to get as much progress into Death Valley as possible because our book club is on Thursday and today is Monday. So I need to finish this book. I think I'm only like 14% in, maybe. I'm pretty sure my Kindle told me I have over 4 hours left. So I'm not gonna be able to finish it in the 2.5 hours I have left in this challenge. But if I'm on a roll, maybe I'll finish it today. Who knows? But I'll at least get over halfway, which is a good start to make sure I finish this book in time. So I'll catch up with you guys when I have an update on Death Valley. All right, the challenge is over. I was able to get, I think I'm like 70% into Death Valley now. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that, I will link the live show up above from Book Club with Katie because that will have happened already by the time this video goes up. So this challenge was definitely harder than I thought it would be. Audiobooks helped for sure. And I definitely need to brush up on longer reading sprints because I do still want to try a 24-hour reading challenge maybe the next time we have a long weekend. Fingers crossed it goes better the second time around. But all in all, we had really good books this time. I think everything was a 5-star. Not sure about Death Valley yet because I'm not done with it, but I consider this a win. Be sure to give this video a like, leave a comment down below, and be sure to subscribe so you can see my next video. Bye guys.